Hello.
Yay!
Thank you. Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Afnizar Zuelva, and I'm here to tell you about this. You can see on this paper,
Yes, I can see.
it says that how to analyze a poem. So here's the thing before I get into the topic here. Poem is essentially something that is, for some reason, very simple, but also very complicated at the same time. And sometimes we cannot interpret the poem just literally. And sometimes we also had to figure out what really is in the poem. And here, this topic that I'm going to talk about is how to analyze a poem. So here we have the first point, try to figure out the meaning. So here, a poem, if you are talking about a poem, sometimes you want to know, you have to ask yourself, what is the meaning of the poem? Or at least try to think what is the meaning of the poem. It's fine. And then, after you get the meaning, or at least you try to get the meaning, and you found out that maybe I think this poem is this is your interpretation of the poem, then you have imagery. You can see what is on the whole poem, or maybe a line, or a stanza, or something like wordings and rhymes, which is, there is also wordings here in, point 4. Also, I forgot to mention that all of these points is correlated to each other. It's related to each other, that you cannot just do this and did not do the rest. And you cannot do you just cannot do one point and then try to do another point without doing another point. So in imagery here, you can see maybe the poem have an image of nature, or something like prayers, or maybe something like humankind and whatnot. What is essentially means by that is what we usually call as themes. We have two types of themes. We have explicit themes and implicit themes, but we're not going to get into that. After imagery, we have symbols. What is the difference between symbols and imagery here is that symbols, here it's more of the word. Maybe you can see, maybe you can think of a poem, something like, I put my shoe under the blanket. I'm sorry, or something like that. Well, if that or what it says, then that is what symbolizes. Why did the poet try to convey meaning through the word shoe and blanket? And why is there a blanket under? Why is there shoes under blanket? And then here it correlates to the fourth point, which is wordings. And in the wordings, here it's more specific. So let me talk about this tree. Imagery is more of the overall image. And then symbols, it's more of a line. It's more dense and a bit more specific, like a phrase or a line or a stanza. But wordings, it's word to word, back to back. What do you think? Why the poet tried to say that this character that is in the poem is a he or a she, or maybe something like that? Okay, so here we have tone and mood. Tone is the feeling of the poem, while mood is what the readers are feeling when they are reading the poem. Okay? So you can make difference here about the tone and the mood and why it correlates. And it have to be related. The tone and mood have to be related to each other. If the tone is afraid, then the mood is afraid as well, or maybe be scared, or whatever it is. And then storyline. We have storyline on the next point. Here, when you analyze a poem, there are some poems where it has a storyline in it, and you can see and you can think of the meaning on why the poem told such a story, or maybe something like that. And it also correlates to the first point, trying to figure out the meaning. When you get the storyline, sometimes you can easily get the meaning. And then after the storyline, we have structure. Structure here is the form of the poem. Is it a free verse? Is it a cinquain? Is it a terce, or whatever it is? And we could also see if this is a stanza or a line or whatever it is. You can see the structure. And sometimes there is this one form of a poem called concrete poem, where the poem was made by making an image, a literal image. You have to draw, like maybe you want to use flower, and then you made a poem from with the shape of a flower, something like that, you know. And then if you see that, you can see you can imagine why the poet tried to symbolize the poem with flowers, and it correlates to the third point. Okay, so I think that's all that I can talk for today. I'm sorry if I have mistaken. That's all. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.